Judge, you've been around when you're doing meeting with all these families. What part of the responsibility is mothers? What part of the responsibility is on the father? Because typically the blame goes on the father.
Well, there are no fathers. And see, the thing of it is, these men that just ran off and left the women, these women don't want the men. All they wanted was the babies. And see, you had people like the poetress Nikki Giovanni back in the 60s were going all around the country and they were lecturing the women and they were young women, and they were saying, you don't need a father for your children. Just get prego, find one that looks good, smart, athletic. Yeah, that one. And don't even tell him that he's the daddy, because if you bring a man into the picture, they screw up everything. So there was this point where if you had the guy around, there was a problem. And then there was some that did want the guy around, but back when I first started practicing law 50 years ago, one of our number one cases was getting the check cut back on because some dingbat social worker would sit at the end of the block with binoculars, and if there was one or two of the 6 or 7 baby daddies trying to play father, they'd cut the check off. So we had problems with juvenile courts around the country where, Judge, that's not my kid. Well, you feed it long enough, he'll look just like you. So, you know, that was before DNA. And I can remember one thing. It was a cop I was representing, and he got a petition to increase the child support. So when they called the kid's name, I stood up, he stood up. 2 more lawyers stood up and 2 other guys stood up. So this woman was collecting child support from 3 guys for the same kid. So we finagled getting some DNA testing, and none of the 3 were the daddies.
No way.
So, I mean, you have these horror stories going on.
That's some. At the end of the day, nobody knows what I went through. Nobody knows what I'm going through. So nobody, you, him, whoever the fuck, you don't get to sit here and talk about shit.
All right. All right. What up, Facebook? What up, YouTube? What up, Rumble? This is Mr. Royce J. Good morning. How y'all doing today? It's Hump Day. We in the middle of the week, Jack. What y'all got going? How y'all feeling out there? I'm going to be honest right now. I am highly annoyed with Facebook right about now. It's usually Rumble, but today it's Facebook. I'm highly annoyed. They won't let me be great. They won't let your boy be great. I don't understand it. I really don't understand it, man. I got a little bit of late start, went to bed late, and so woke up a little bit later than I would have liked to. But it's okay. We here now, and we're gonna get it done. Do me a favor, as you guys come into the video, as you guys are logging on, do me a favor and hit that like button and announce yourself in the chat. Let me know who I'm rocking with today. So I can have an idea of where everybody's watching from. I appreciate that from you all. And if you feel it's in your heart, drop something on the Cash App. It's not mandatory, not by any means, but I appreciate uh, you guys funding my effort to grow and develop this channel. So we're going to talk about what's in the news today because there's a lot going on. Yesterday, I think this guy's name is Thomas Bradley. He took the stand in the Fannie Willis hearing, and we're going to talk about that in a little while. We're going to talk about some other stuff that's going on because, as I said before, there's a lot happening in the news. What I got to do is find out a way to just have a constant news feed, you know, other than Twitter. Other than Twitter and Facebook, I'll be looking for news and Dr. Umar stuff will pop up. And I don't care about Dr. Umar like that. I really don't. I really don't. Other than that, how was you guys' trip to work this morning? Unless you work from home, how was your trip? How's the traffic where you at? Where I'm at in North Florida, traffic generally isn't too bad. Traffic gets bad when you start heading south towards Orlando. It gets real funky, like right around Disney, stuff like that. It gets real annoying. So yesterday I was watching the Angry Man. Shout out to Angry Man and the lead attorney. Shout out to him. I was watching their breakdowns of the hearing, and more or less, I agree. Thomas Bradley got up there, and he was he is not a credible witness for uh for the defense. He was this guy got up there and lied, man, and then he was trying to. It's like 1 minute he was lying, the next minute he was, telling the truth. This guy was a hot mess. But this is the kind of stuff that you see in a lot of these cases. If you see it in a big case and you see this with lawyers, just imagine what it's like with regular people. You got to remember, lawyers are educated and trained to work in the courtrooms. If you had these lawyers, did that, and acting unprofessional, just imagine what regular people like. The difference is it's a lot easier to discipline your average everyday Joe. With attorneys, they have more ways to get up out of being disciplined by the court. Although not saying that it doesn't happen because I've seen it happen. I've seen attorneys be locked up for contempt. It's a lot less likely to happen than it would be with the average person. So, so you have that there. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Because I don't want to just be babbling to myself. Can you guys hear me on Rumble? Can you guys hear me on Facebook? Can you guys hear me on YouTube? Uh, Do me a favor on YouTube, put something in the chat. Let me know if you guys can hear me. I want to make sure everyone can hear me on the different platforms. You know, your Facebook really got on my nerves today. I am not happy with Facebook. You know, Facebook won't let me control the camera I want to control. You know, if you're on Facebook, say something. I got the chat up on Facebook. Say something. And y'all around here tripping. That's all right. We're gonna grow this show. We're gonna grow this show, and I'm gonna figure out how to do exactly what I want to do on Facebook. Let's see what these real time tools are over here on. Yeah. So what y'all want to talk about today, man? I'm pretty sure there's some news you all want me to run my mouth about. So let me know. You know, as I be working around the house and running errands and stuff, I like to listen to a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of different content creators. I have my favorite content creators and stuff I like to listen to. So who are you guys' favorite content creators? Besides yours truly. Yeah. They need to make a section on news. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at this report right here by WRAL concerning Trump and Biden in the primaries in Michigan. You know, Michigan is one of those. Michigan is a weird state in that they kind of do their own thing. They're not really Michigan, Florida, all those places that are like swing states. They kind of do their own thing politically. You know, they even the culture is really different when you really take a look at it. They have their own they have their own way of doing things. And I guess you could say that for every state, but it's like on the one hand, places like that are very conservative, uh, whatever that means, or very traditional. But then they have a lot of new age or progressive, whatever that means, type type things in things or norms inside the local culture. And Michigan is definitely one of those places, man. Like a lot of them towns outside of like Detroit and the bigger cities in Michigan, like Grand Rapids and stuff. You know, it's like they're militia towns, but not militia in the way you think they are. This is not. It's not what they show you on TV. It's very different. They have a different admixture culture there where they it's like almost like these states create their own type of people. So it's definitely something weird. let's take a look at let's take a look at this video out of Michigan. Let me get it together so that we could watch it, and I'll give my commentary on it. Let's see what we got here as usual. Let me see what I can do. It's almost like this computer's got to warm up. you know, be annoying the mess out of me, man. It's almost like it's got to warm up in order to act right. You know, Like he's got arthritis.
Higher authority.
There's a
Former
digital
President Donald
arthritis.
Trump is celebrating another big win after the Michigan primaries, with President Joe Biden's victory meeting some opposition from Arab American voters. Trump beat challenger Nikki Haley by more than 40 percentage points. The state's Republican Party chair referred to Trump as the presumptive nominee and said he also relayed that
Hold on,
message to Haley.
I need to see something. I need to go back a second. Hold on.
Percentage points. The state's Republican Party chair referred to Trump.
Hold on.
Former President Donald Trump is celebrating another big win after the Michigan primaries, with President Joe Biden's victory meeting some opposition from Arab American voters. Trump beat challenger.
All right, we're gonna stop right there for a second. What did I tell y'all yesterday? What did I tell you? What did I tell y'all? What did I tell WASP Christians? What did I tell WASP Christians and Republicans yesterday? Hey, listen, shout out to the Muslims in the Arab community, the Middle Easterners, because they're showing the way. They're showing the way. You know, they're showing the way. They're showing Christians what they ought to be doing politically. Since y'all want to be involved in politics and stuff, they're showing you what you should be doing, and they're really showing you what you should be doing culture-wise and stuff. They're handling business. Meanwhile, you guys are focused on especially evangelical Republicans, you guys are still focused on Bin Laden and Saddam Hussein. Both of them are dead. You guys are still fighting that crazy war in your minds and stuff, especially you old ones. I've seen you. You're still fighting that war in your minds. Meanwhile, your grandson, Chad, is twerking his nuts in his butthole in front of kids at a library, dressed up like some 6'5" woman. The Arab Americans and Muslims are showing you guys the way, what you should be doing. You know, your daughter Emily hates you because she done went to college and learned how to get drunk, have deviant sex, and hate men. your nephew Chad, your grandson Chad is doing what I said he was doing. You can't stand your wife because she nag and talk all the time. She want to be an independent woman, but want to be treated like a traditional woman at the same time. You know, Arabs and Muslims are showing you guys the way. Even the Middle Eastern Christians, they're doing a better job at Christianing than you all are. You know, so hey, listen, get your shit together. Get your shit together. They ran up on Biden like, nah, man, we don't like you. That's awesome. Let's go. Fair use, fair use.
Nikki Haley by more than 40 percentage points. The state's Republican Party chair referred to Trump as the presumptive nominee and said he also relayed that message to Haley. Also, Biden earned more than 80% of the votes in the Democratic primary, while 13% of voters, though, checked uncommitted on the ballot. That was part of a grassroots effort protesting Biden's handling of the war in Gaza.
Today we'll get an update on the work being done to transform Dix Park, what we're expecting.
All right.
Higher authority.
Former President Donald Trump is.
All right, we're going to shut that down. What do y'all think about that? I'm not surprised. I told you guys the other day what I thought about Nikki Haley's campaign. It's just a cash grab. That's all that is. She's running a cash grab. She's not doing anything important. She's not serious. She's just trying to get as much money as she can. You know, probably hoping to get another cabinet position or something like that. I guess she's an ambassador or some type of ambassador or something. You know, that something nobody really cares about, you know. But anyway, what else do y'all want to talk about news-wise and stuff? let me take a look at some other stories we can get into. What's going on Twitter besides they can't find Cardi B or something, you know, nobody cares about Cardi B like that, you know. See what they're talking about. You know. Oh, okay. Let me see if I can. Oh man, they got this picture of Puffy. I'm going to copy this link and I'm going to put it in. This dog is barking at the bushes blowing in the wind. Ain't even my dog, and I got to deal with this dog barking at the bushes in the wind. And it's the scariest dog in the house, which is why this dog is barking to begin with. All right, we're gonna pull up this story about Diddy. I think it's entertaining. Let me see if I can get it to refresh. Let me. This is what winds up happening. I don't care about. Yeah, man. According to a 73-page document, Diddy allegedly had sexual relations with a Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj and a singer who performed at the Super Bowl. Yeah, you know what? I can't. It won't pull up this picture of what Diddy looks like on this picture. It's wild, though, man. Oh, oh. Hey, man, these people ain't shit on Twitter. Hey, oh man, that was hilarious. Yeah, I can't. It won't show the picture, man. Man, yeah. So let's talk about this. Let's look at this story from Forbes. Says possible loopholes Trump could take advantage of in paying off the New York City off that fine. You know that's some bullshit. Basically, what they did was there's a term for it. I can't think of the term right now. I'm getting old and having a brain fart. Uh, it's not manifest destiny, but it's where when the government tries to take over your land or your property for its own self-interest. I can't think of the name of that term right now. If one of you all could help me out in the chat, I would greatly appreciate it. Because I can't think of the name of it right now. Let's see what we got. Yeah, everything is moving slow. I think maybe I need to reset my internet or something. Or maybe I just got too much going. All right. It seems like the only way to act right is if I actually open the browser, which I didn't want to do until I got the video taken care of. And this is why. Mm. I got to see which of these internet connections on Wi-Fi it's on. I had two different Wi-Fi's running out my house. One is more janky than the other. So let me take a look at it. Okay. I probably just have to reset the internet in it. Then we have one dedicated to productivity gaming and streaming.
Obviously, legally and financially speaking, the former president is facing an uphill battle. $540 million.
All right, fair use, fair use. Let's take a look at this news report by Forbes.
Is nothing to sneeze at, but I am curious, are there any workarounds, any loopholes here?
So I definitely think, first things first, he could find a bank that isn't registered by or registered with or chartered by the New York Department of Financial Services. That would be the easiest way out. So if he can find a bank that's willing to loan him the money, he could do that. The second thing he could do is go to a fellow friendly high net worth individual. He's got plenty of rich friends. Some of those friends are also political supporters of his who want to make sure that he's the next president or want to see him as the next president at least. And this could be a way for them to help him out of a financial jam. And then the final thing is, there may be a foreign entity or another, it doesn't just have to be an American bank that isn't in New York. It could be a bank from another country or another financial institution from another country that might be able to help out the once and potentially future president.
As we all are well aware, this comes against the backdrop of the 2024 presidential election, where he is the front runner of the GOP nomination. And just a few days ago, he won pretty handily in the South Carolina primary against Nikki Haley. As we know, that is her home state. So I am curious.
All right, let's stop right here. Even though we're talking about Trump right now and this ridiculous fine that he's got to pay out there in New York. As far as it goes with Nikki Haley, how is it that you don't win your own state unless they know you ain't shit? Let's continue.
Politically, is this money, are these legal challenges making an impact?
This is my opinion here, right? I'm not a pundit. I'm not a political analyst, but my reading of things is that these cases against him are pretty baked into the electorate's impression of him already. And as you mentioned, he just won pretty handily in South Carolina against Nikki Haley, her home state, I should add. So that's pretty notable. That said, I do know that polling shows if he's got plenty of other legal cases against him, right? And polling shows that if any of these criminal cases against him result in a conviction, that could lead to some of his supporters backing away or switching their support. So there's definitely some risk for him politically in some of the other cases. I don't know whether there's as much risk exists for him here.
Kyle Mullins, per usual, thank you so much for coming on, sharing your report.
They didn't talk about no loopholes. They didn't talk about any loopholes. I'm wondering what they meant about possible loopholes. They didn't talk about it, other than him being helped to campaign as far as campaign funds by his supporters. I really didn't hear anything that really talked about loopholes in a legal sense, anyway. So I think I just got, I think we all just got finessed. Anybody that looked at that particular story got finessed. Let's see where we're getting that echo coming from. What's up, no new news, no news podcast? What's up, bro? Let's see where we're getting that echo from, so we can get that taken care of. I got a few different sources open. Only got one mic going, but you know what? That echo might be coming from Facebook. Let me see if I can fix that. Yeah. Let's see if I can fix that. I don't want that echo. Go to settings. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah. And so I might be trying to run it through two different mics. What about now? Am I still doing a lot of echoing? Let me know. Let me know. Oh, okay. All right. It only does it when I play the videos. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Like I say, man, I'm trying to build it as I fly it, and I'm learning as I go, definitely. I finally figured out how to stream on, what is this? Three uh 4 different platforms. So I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Rumble, and YouTube, trying to get this show popping on all of these. Trying to get this show popping on all the platforms, and each platform has different things that you got to do to get it to where you can stream, and they have different you have different limitations. So just trying to get that figured out. So, hey, if you all haven't checked out No News Podcast, check his podcast out as well. He's got some great stuff going on over there. Check him out. Hit him with a subscribe. Let's support each other. If you guys are content creators, let's support each other. I know Mike Reed come through here, and Mike Reed be coming through here, and he does shows on commercial appliance repair and stuff. He just did a couple of shorts. Go check those out. So, you know, let's so everybody support each other. Anyway, so let's look at some more news to talk about as we go about our day. So Let's look at it. Let's, yeah, I'm gonna have to switch up. Let's check out this video from CNN about this Fannie Willis hearing. I talked about that earlier, and I tell you, Nathan Wade's former attorney and former friend did not help Nathan Wade or Fannie Willis in this hearing. Attorney-client privilege is not allowed in this situation. And this guy got on the witness stand and was doing one of these basically. Hey, it was a hot mess. It was a hot mess. We're going to take a look at it. We're going to take a look at it and see what we can make of it. Let's go. And it's like I said, this, I don't know if it's my computer. I don't know if it's because I'm running on 4 different platforms, but I don't know if it's OBS. Hey, listen, I got to make some money so I can hire somebody to help me with the technical side of this mess, man. Because half the time, I've been trying to get this stuff figured out. Yeah, I can't even get it to pull. Okay. It's taking its time. Like I said, it's got to warm up. So it is what it is. Yeah, man.
What if I told you that instead of setting up a green screen, you can just click a button in Descript and get the same exact effect? So I have my project here, and as you can see, my background is not very pretty. All I have to do is select my layer in the canvas, then go to the effects panel and just toggle green screen. Descript will start processing, and when it's done, I have a completely green screen video. So now I can make it look like I'm in a room full of weirdos. Okay.
Okay. This is taking forever. Yeah, I'm not digging. I'm not feeling this at all. All right, hold on. We may have some. Let the wheel of death going again. I really think it's the.
I don't know when the trip was. Can you tell us about that?
August of 2023.
You booked a trip for $1,481.54.
Are you asking me, did I take that trip with Miss Willis, or are you asking me?
First, I was just asking you to acknowledge that that is correct from the records, that you paid for a cabin in Tennessee. Do you recall, and hopefully you can do it from your memory, do you recall paying for a cabin 6 months ago, $1,400.81 in Tennessee?
Where are we now?
David is representing it. It said examples of the District Attorney Willis purchasing plane tickets for she and I with her personal funds were attached as an exhibit. It certainly did not represent that it was the only example of the District Attorney purchasing flights for Mr. Wade or for compensating other travel.
All right, understand this, Cross. I think that's something you can, it's now on the record, but also something you can take on Cross.
Thank you. And just so everybody is clear, all I asked you is, your affidavit, you submitted proof of one flight that she paid for and booked. That's all I'm asking. Correct?
With the explanation, yes, ma'am.
Okay. It's all I needed. You said in the affidavit.
All right, let's stop for a second. I thought it was, I got to see what date this came from, because I thought that Nathan Wade and Fannie Willis pretty much confessed that they did have a relationship. At this point, nobody is surprised of what was going on with this situation. So, with the situation between those two, so I guess they have Nathan Wade back on the stand because this is live. All right, so let's go back and take a look at it. That's probably why I was having trouble with the feed. Fair use, let's go.
That you roughly shared travel, though, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this roughly sharing travel, you're saying she reimbursed you.
She did.
And where did you deposit the money she reimbursed you?
Oh, it's cash. She didn't give me any checks.
So she paid you cash for her share of all these vacations.
Mr. Schaefer, you'll step out if you do that again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so all of the vacations that she took, she paid you cash for.
Yes, ma'am.
And you purchased all of these vacations on your business credit card, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you included those in deductions on your taxes, correct?
No, ma'am.
No, you did not.
No, ma'am.
Okay. We'll get to that in just.
You know, she got records. She knows he's lying. So let's continue. Fair use.
A minute then. Let's see. So the only thing that you have actual documentary proof, not cash, is this one receipt that you attached to the affidavit. Is that correct?
Your Honor, I object to that question. That is a mischaracterization of the assertion that is in the affidavit.
I'm asking.
So then he can deny it. I think he can fend for himself. Ms. Merchant.
Is this the only written proof that you have of a trip she paid for?
That I have?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you submitted the one piece of written evidence that you have that she paid for something. Everything else is in cash. Is that accurate?
No.
That's not accurate. Okay. Please tell me, what other receipts do you have then that show that she paid for things?
I don't have them.
Okay. Okay. So this is the only receipt that you have to show that she paid for travel.
That I have. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay. In your divorce case, you filed a domestic relations financial affidavit, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The first one you filed was in January 2022, right?
Thereabout. Yes, ma'am.
And those are under oath?
Yes.
Okay. And you also filed corporate taxes in 2022, correct?
Did.
Okay. And tell me about your business. Do you have a partnership or are you a solo practitioner?
As it stands today?
Yes.
So today, I have a separate PC. My law partner has his own separate PC.
Okay.
So, but we're under the same umbrella, under the same roof. So we share expenses, we share income, and we split it.
So are you a partnership?
We are a partnership in the sense of we share expenses, we share income.
Are you registered with the state of Georgia as a partnership?
So the WBC firm that included myself, Terrence.
What had happened was, hey, that's how when people be doing the what had happened was explaining. That's exactly how they be moving their hands and looking. What had happened was. Let's continue.
Terrence Bradley and Christopher Campbell, we were registered with the Secretary of State as a partnership for a short period of time. When
That was dissolved, though, right, in 2023?
I'm going to object to the witness to answer his question.
Mr. Wade, do you have something else to add there?
I did. When things happened and we excused Mr. Bradley from that partnership, it left Christopher Campbell and myself. So now you have two separate PCs under the same umbrella, sharing expenses and income.
Okay. So let me just narrow down my questions then. Are you registered? And have you been registered at any time in the state of Georgia as Wade and Campbell?
Wade, no ma'am.
You've never been registered as a partnership?
As Wade and Campbell, no ma'am.
Wade and Campbell, yes, thank you.
But as Wade Bradley Campbell, yes ma'am.
Wade Bradley Campbell was registered on April 1st, 2021 and administratively dissolved on September 8th, 2023, correct?
Yes ma'am.
Other than that partnership, you have always been registered as law office of Nathan Wade?
Yes ma'am.
Not with Chris Campbell?
Correct.
Thank you. So the affidavit that you filed in your divorce case, the first one in 2022, I think I'm up to number 7. I'm going to just give you a group of exhibits so we don't have to go back and forth.
Hey, y'all remember why he had his divorce trial sealed? This is what he was trying to avoid. I wondered just how far and how detailed they planned on dealing with any objections from the Trump attorneys. I wonder how deep did they go? Let's continue. Fair use, fair use.
Marking the 2022 as 7. I'm marking the 2024 as 8. I'm marking the credit card statements as 9, and your taxes as 10.
I object to taxes because of the relevance of them at this point. The relevance of this entire business structure doesn't seem clear to me as either impeaching or relevant to the issues that the courts under the court's consideration. But insofar as we're talking about tax returns and other things like that, certainly that should be redacted, and I would object to the relevance of it.
I agree they should be redacted. I don't agree to the relevance, but I haven't tried to tender them yet, Judge. I'm just marking them right now so that everyone can follow along.
All right. And what is the eventual relevance that you were getting at here?
Well, I'm going to ask him because one of the things that we have to show in this case is a personal and financial interest. So, and he's talked about how he was reimbursed for these things, and so I have a right to go into the veracity of those statements. So let's see, 7, 8, 9. And then 10. All right, so right now I'm just going to show you what I've marked as these exhibits.
Can I see what you're showing?
Oh, yeah, of course. They're all from the USB drive I gave you. Can I approach, Judge?
You may.
I'm just showing you what I marked as 7, 8, 9, and 10. Just so you have them for your reference as I ask you some questions.
All right.
So, so these are sworn. I'm first going to ask you about the domestic relations financial affidavit. These are sworn. They're filed under oath, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And the most recent one that you filed was filed on January 26, 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
So a few weeks ago.
Yes, ma'am.
And in that one, you said that you made $9,500 each month, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You said that in 2022, well, in 2022, in this case alone, isn't it true you were paid $303,000, over $303,000?
I was paid?
Yes, in this case. Fulton County, by Fulton County.
I see where you're going. So,
And Judge, I just
In
asked him
that-
to answer the question. If he wants to explain it, I've got no problem with that.
Mr. Wade, just listen to the question asked and just answer the question asked.
In 2022, isn't it true you were paid over $300,000?
no, ma'am, that is not true.
You were not paid over $300,000 by Fulton County.
No, ma'am, I was not.
Okay. How much were you paid in 2022 then?
So, what I was beginning to explain was Fulton County wrote a check to my firm.
Okay.
What happens at that point is the checks are then deposited. As you have the bank statements, you see that. And then they are dispersed between the three of us. So,
Hey, I don't care what y'all say. This dude is a player. he, he got player vibes. Let's continue.
there was Mr. Bradley, there was Mr. Wade, and there was Christopher Campbell. A third, a third, a third. So when you ask me if I was paid $300,000, the answer is no. I got a third of that went to my personal firm. Now, once the money was distributed to my personal firm, obviously the expenses come out of that, and I get, at the end of the day, whatever the profit is. So I did not get $300,000. No, ma'am.
And let me just clarify. My question was not, did you put in your pocket $300,000? My question was the law firm of Nathan Wade paid over $300,000 in the year 2022?
Again, a third of that came to the law firm of Nathan Wade.
So you're saying that the law firm of Nathan Wade did not receive checks from Fulton County government over $300,000 in the year 2022?
That's a different question. A third of the $300,000 came to Nathan Wade.
Okay. Again, I'm not asking what went in your pocket. I'm asking, was the law firm of Nathan Wade paid over $300,000 in 2022?
I'm object asking answer several times.
I know, but I think
Okay.
we're dancing around the point there. So, final time, Ms. Mershon.
That's fine. I can move on, Judge. Thank you. So you said that they were dispersed amongst all of you, or put into an account with all of you. So it's your testimony that for 2022, every check you received from Fulton County government went into an operating account with you, Bradley, and Campbell.
No. That's not what I testified to. So the Wade, Bradley, and Campbell firm established an account when we decided to purchase a building in 2022. At that point, every piece of income that came into the entity went into that account.
Okay.
And then after expenses were paid, it was split a third, right? Once that was dissolved, then the funds would go into a different account. My account, one of my accounts.
He trying to bullshit her like she don't understand that he still got to explain where that 600,000 from the Fulton County DA's office went and why. He's trying to bullshit his way through it, and it's not working, bro. Oh, this dude is hilarious. Let's continue.
And then I would disperse the funds between now Attorney Campbell and myself, one half and one half.
Okay.
Make sense?
It does. Let me be more direct then. So the Synovus operating account that you had for Wade, Bradley, and Campbell.
Yes, ma'am.
The checks from Fulton County from January of 2022 until June 17th, 2022. Those checks were deposited in that operating account.
Yes, ma'am.
Starting on July 15th, 2022, the checks you received from Fulton County up until May 26th, 2022, all went into an escrow account that you had at Fifth Third Bank, correct?
No, not all of them.
Not all of them?
Some of them, yes.
So it's your testimony that some of your checks from July 15th, 2022 up until May 26th, 2023, some of them went into an account outside of Fifth Third Bank?
Your Honor, I'm object to the relevance of the financial transactions.
How much money you made is highly relevant in this case. It's the personal financial business and where the money was, and I mean it's just a follow up on other things that he's testified to.
And why is how much money he made relevant?
Because he represented it's very relevant. He filed an affidavit with the court saying, with another court, he told another judge that he made $9,500 a month. That's what he swore to. And
All right, so this entire inquiry is just to establish that prior and consistent statement.
yes.
All right. I'll give you a minute or two more to try that, but we're going to have to move on.
Thank you. So I know you're saying that you only got a third of the $300,000, but you were paid over, the firm was paid over $300,000 in 2022, correct?
So, Ms. Merchant, it's not what I'm saying. They're numbers. They're there. It's the truth. The funds were paid. They were divvied between the three of us, going into an operating account, expenses paid out of it.
Okay.
At the end of that, the 9,000 figure is what you have.
So that's where you got the 9,000 figure from.
Yes, ma'am.
And let's see, prior to when you filed for divorce in November 2021, you would use Mr. Bradley's credit card to pay for things with Miss Willis, correct? And then pay him back in cash.
I've never used Mr. Bradley's credit card.
You've never used his credit card?
Never.
For transactions to...
Hey, yesterday Mr. Bradley said he has used his credit card before. See, that's another one of them lies they're gonna catch him up on. You know, this guy is a former judge and an attorney. He should know better. And he's getting caught on live TV. Let's continue.
anything with Miss Willis, out to dinner, anything like that. Hotels.
I've never used Mr. Bradley's credit card. I've never used anyone else's credit card. Not even my father's, and we have the same name.
And you'd pay back, if you ever did use someone's credit card, you'd pay back in cash though, correct?
Ma'am, I've never used someone else's credit card.
Can you take a look at the bank records that I gave you? That's the largest tab you have.
For the record, which exhibit is this?
It is exhibit, hold on, Judge. It's exhibit 9. It should be the largest section you've got.
Your Honor, before there starts refreshments from the exhibits haven't been tendered, and I maintain my relevance objections.
All right, let's see what the next question is, and maybe then that objection is going to be highly relevant.
Okay.
Is that an accurate copy of your Capital One statements that you provided in discovery to, is that an accurate reflection of your Capital One records?
That I provided in discovery to whom?
To your divorce lawyers, or that you provided in the divorce proceeding?
Is the question, does he recognize it by sight?
I'm asking if it's his statement, his bank
I
statement.
think that is the question.
Well, I mean, it's a thick document, but I believe you if you say that this is what my wife's divorce lawyer gave you. I believe it.
Your name's on every page of that document, correct?
On every page?
Pretty much every page, if not every page.
No, it's not on every page, no ma'am.
They're all Capital One bank records.
They are.
Okay? Just take your time, look through it. Tell me if there's anything that you think is not yours.
No, they appear to be.
Okay. And those bank records show that you paid for travel with Miss Willis.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I'm going to object the relevance of these documents and the.
Well, I think, are you tendering Exhibit 9?
I'm going to, Judge, and they're highly relevant to the whole
Well, he's
reason.
asked him a question about the contents of them, and they haven't been admitted yet. So why don't we start there?
Thanks. Those show travel that you and Miss Willis took.
Well, so you're asking about the contents of something that hasn't been admitted yet, right?
Well, I'm asking him if that's what it shows because I know that they're going to object on relevance.
Well, first we got to see if it's you've authenticated it, perhaps, and before we get into other details of what's in it, I think
I can
it needs
tender
to be
them. That's
admitted.
fine. I move to admit them.
All right.
Object on relevance.
On relevance. All right. And on that, overruled. Ms. Merchant.
Thank you. Those records demonstrate that you paid for travel with yourself and Miss Willis, correct?
They should.
Okay. And let's just talk about that travel.
Okay.
The first trip is Belize in March 2023. Is that a trip that you took with Miss Willis?
Are you asking?
Did you take a trip with Miss Willis in 2023 to Belize?
I did.
Did you take a trip to California with Miss Willis in 2023?
I did.
Did you pay for those trips on that credit card?
I used the credit card to book the travel, but understand.
She paid you back cash.
Well, let me say this. Let's take the Belize trip, for example, since you started there. That was a birthday gift to me, so I paid nothing for that trip. Zero.
Okay. So the charges that are on your card, she gave you cash for?
She did.
Okay. So all of the charges.
Excuse me, Your Honor, I believe the witness had finished answering the question.
Oh, did you have more?
I did.
Okay.
I wanted to get into the charges on the card because traveling with her is a task. You can probably imagine the attention that happens. So for safety reasons, she would limit her transactions. I mean, imagine trying to walk through an airport or sit at a restaurant or do anything. So there was no attempt to conceal. It's a credit card. Everything is here. So.
And that's not what I asked.
Okay.
What I asked was.
Yeah, he's trying to murky up the issues. He's trying to murky up the issue at hand. And they're trying to use circumstantial norms to justify basically trying to hide money that was spent. Again, I don't know if this is going to affect the Trump trial as a whole, but it is definitely going to affect their credibility. Let's go.
Was the charges for Belize in March 2023 on that credit card. Those are things you purchased to go with Miss Willis to Belize.
Those are things that we booked with my card that she paid. Yes.
Yes. So those show up on your credit card.
They do.
And you're saying that she paid you cash to reimburse you for all of that.
She did.
And she paid you cash for both of your portions or just hers?
Both.
Okay, so that trip, Belize, just Belize, she paid you for everything on Belize.
The entire trip.
Okay. So the food, tattoo parlor, all that stuff, she paid for.
I'm gonna. I'm sorry, maybe do the question.
There was no tattoo parlor in Belize.
The charges, there's a tattoo parlor on the charges. I'm not getting into what it was for. I'm just asking if everything that's on that card related to Belize, she paid you back for.
She paid for it.
Okay.
All right.
Let's talk about California in May 2023. You all went to California together.
Yes.
And you booked plane tickets.
Yes.
And her name was on those plane tickets.
They were.
And so I know you said that you were worried about security and things like that, but that wasn't her name. When she traveled, she had to use her name.
Oh, so the plane tickets, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you paid for those plane tickets, and you paid for a hotel.
So, again, the card, yes.
You used your credit card, and I'm not asking about after what happened. I'm asking, did you use your credit card to book your flight and hotel to California?
I did.
And there's a lot of Ubers on there as well for California. Did you pay for those Ubers as well?
Yes.
Did
We were
Ms.
in Nap.
And you're saying that Ms. Willis, are you saying that Ms. Willis paid you back for that?
Yes.
Did she pay for the entire trip, or did she pay for her half of the trip?
The Napa trip, she paid for the excursions. So the expenses sort of balanced out. I mean, there was never, let me be clear, there was never a time when I would say, hey, I bought dinner. Dinner costs $25. You need to give me $25. If you've ever spent any time with Miss Willis, you understand that she's a very independent, proud woman. So she's going to
overrule, Mr. Royce.
So she's going to insist that she carries her own weight, and it actually was a point of contention.
Hey, Facebook,
between the two.
I'm gonna drop and come
She
back.
is going
Still
to
having
pay her
issues
own weight.
with the feed.
So
You guys
let
are
me
not
ask the
getting the
question to
video
make sure
that I'm
you can
showing.
answer it.
Okay.
A California
So,
trip
let me-
that you paid for.
Let me do that.
Saying that she did not pay you back for cash. Instead, she paid for excursions, and you believe that was roughly half.
No, she gave me some cash, yes. But what I'm saying is everything that we did when we got into Napa, she paid for.
The trip that she booked on her credit card in Miami, did you pay her cash back for your half of that?
No.
So you never paid her back for the ticket she bought for you?
No. I would say I did pay her back because there were times when I would pay for dinner.
Okay.
She would pay for dinner. It would balance out. But in a relationship, ma'am, you don't, particularly men, we don't go asking back for anything. So you're not keeping a ledger of things that you pay for versus the thing that she's paid for. Which is why I said that it was a point of contention because she was very emphatic and adamant about this independent, strong woman thing. So she demanded that she pay her own way.
But she's the district attorney of Fulton County, and she has to file financial disclosures disclosing any gifts with anybody that she does business with in Fulton County, correct?
I don't know.
Okay. Let's talk about Tennessee. You booked a cabin in August 2023 and paid for a cabin in Tennessee. That's when you paid for it. I don't know when the trip was. Can you tell us about that?
August of 2023.
You booked a trip for $1,481.54.
Are you asking me, did I take that trip with Miss Willis, or are you asking me?
First, I was just asking you to acknowledge that is correct from the records, that you paid for a cabin in Tennessee. Do you recall, and hopefully you can do it from your memory, do you recall paying for a cabin 6 months ago, $1,400.81 in Tennessee?
Where are we now? What page is it?
I'm just asking from your memory. Do you remember paying for a cabin in August?
He's going to be asked about a particular transaction.
You can answer whether he remembers or not.
Mr. Wade, I'm not asking you to go through 1,000 pages of records. I'm asking if you remember paying for a cabin 6 months ago in Tennessee.
No.
You remember booking a cabin?
I booked lots of cabins.
Did you go to a cabin with Miss Willis ever?
Ever?
Ever.
No.
You've never gone to a cabin?
No.
You ever gone to Tennessee with Miss Willis?
Yes.
Okay. When was that?
That was around 2022, early 2022.
Early 2022? Okay.
It was a day trip.
Okay, so you didn't spend the night?
So it was a day trip.
Okay.
We would drive there, have lunch, drive back. The reason we would do that is because the attention, she couldn't get any peace of mind going locally, so we'd get in my car and drive to someplace off the beaten path and have lunch and drive back.
Is that when you went to Fain Goat with her? It's in Jasper.
No, that's in Georgia. I don't recall going to Fain and Goat with her.
So the Tennessee day trips were not. Were only Tennessee.
Yes.
Okay. Did you ever do these day trips in Georgia?
Do we drive anywhere in Georgia?
Yeah, you were talking about day trips going out, and I'm talking about outside of the metro area. Day trips that you were just talking about. These trips you were talking about. The ones that you were, I'm only asking about the ones you were just talking about. Are all of those in Tennessee?
No, we drove to Alabama before.
Okay.
Back.
You drove to Alabama?
Mm-hmm.
Did you go anywhere in Georgia? North Georgia.
No, I'm going to object. If she wants to direct his attention in some way to a time frame or a location, then I think that might be easier for the witness to accurately answer.
Ms. Merchant, I think if you don't have the specific details yourself, we need to start getting into specifics or more maybe broadly phrased questions. We can't just be exploring around indefinitely.
Is it fair to say that you've taken so many trips with her you don't even really remember all the places you've gone?
So many trips?
You're having trouble remembering going if you went to North Georgia or not.
Were you asking me about specific places? And I want to be candid in my responses, so I have to jog my memory because these are places that I have frequented, but not with her. So I want to make certain that if there was ever a time that she accompanied me, that I was candid in that response.
Aruba, October 2022. And I've got business record certificate for these. Judge might be a little faster. But did you take a trip with her to Aruba in?
Wow. All right, what are we?
Yes, ma'am. And decided and one, if you will.
Okay, so my question was, did you go with DA Willis to Aruba in 2022?
I did.
Thank you. And you paid for that trip using your business credit card, correct?
I did.
Okay. And you paid for a cruise as well, correct?
That's the cruise I was referencing with DA Willis, my mother, and myself.
Okay, and because there's two cruises, so let's just talk about the first one. So the first one was that's the one with your mother.
Yes.
And so you introduced D.A. Willis to your mother that trip. You all took a cruise together, the three of you.
Yes.
After the cruise was done, you and D.A. Willis flew to Aruba together, and your mom flew home.
Yes.
And you paid for all of this with your credit card, on your business credit card.
I did.
And are you saying that Miss Willis paid you cash back for that?
She did.
And
But let me make this distinction though, because the number that you're looking at reflects the 3 people on the cruise ship. There were things that my mother and I did, just the 2 of us, that D.A. Willis didn't do.
And I'm not attributing that. I did not. My math is not good, but I did not include anything with your mother on those.
You wouldn't be able to see it because it's not separated out. It just shows a charge on the account when actually it would have been something with my mother and I.
Judge, may I approach with exhibits 10 and 11? They're both certified business records one's from Vacation Express, one's from H2.
I thought 10 was taxes.
I'm sorry, 11 and 12. Yeah, for sure. Thank you. And these are business records, Judge. They have the certification, so I moved to admit them.
All right. Defense 11 and 12. Ms. Cross?
Based on Ms. Merchant's representation that they are true and accurate as to the certification that was provided to her, we have no objection.
All right. Again, seeing no other objection, they're admitted.
So the trip to Aruba alone for you and D.A. Willis was $3,835.26, correct? Just Aruba.
I'm looking for the amount.
This one is 11.
Yes, ma'am. $3,835.26.
And then the Royal Caribbean for just you and Miss Willis was $1,269.70, correct?
No, ma'am.
Your mother's got a different line item on there. I'm talking about the cruise, the actual cruise cabin.
I think you need to rephrase that as in the form of a question, Ms. Merchant.
Did you pay Royal Caribbean for yours and Miss Willis's cabin $1,269.70?
Where are we? Which page?
We're on the receipts. There's just a few pages of receipts on exhibit number 11.
Okay. I'm in 11.
Hey, what up, Mike Reed? How you doing? Good morning. Thanks for joining us. Mike Reed says, I stand by my assessment of the lawyer. Just terrible at her job. This lawyer's bad at her job. So bad. Like, he can't go to Aruba annually. My guy was thinking hard. Lots of chicks was taken out to the cabin for yeah. Hey, I tell you, he's got Playboy vibes. I it is what it is. He got Playboy vibes. Yeah, this attorney, she is shaky at best, and I think this I yeah, I think her dealing with other legal professionals, having to examine and cross-examine other legal professionals, has her she's it's almost like she's starstruck, and she really doesn't know how to really get aggressive with him, and really, she really don't know how to go at this. She's having a lot of trouble with that, and that only comes with time for a lot of people, and for some people it never comes. You know, it is what it is. Let's continue. Let me mute this mic and let's continue.
Can you direct me to where you are in Exhibit 11?
The receipt for Royal Caribbean.
My name is Nathan Wade, Nathanwade.
Good morning, Mr. Wade.
Good morning.
Prior to filing this motion to disqualify, you and I were friends, correct?
Yes,
And in fact, I supported you when you ran for judge in 2016.
you did.
I wore your shirts. My kids wore your shirts.
Ms. Merchant,
Fines.
your personal opinions have no relevance.
Okay.
And I mean that in the best way.
That's
all right?
completely fine. I
Let's
will
get to
move
the
on.
point.
Thank you. No. Totally fine. Thank you. You filed for divorce from your wife on November 2nd, 2021?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And
I get what this attorney is, what she's trying to do. She's trying to cover all bases and make sure that Nathan Wade doesn't have an out on his testimony. The problem is that the picture she's trying to paint, it's pretty redundant, and it's like you haven't really done anything more than what you need to do. So it's like it's almost like she's beating a dead horse at this point. Let's continue.
in that divorce proceeding, did you file answers, things such as interrogatories?
I did.
Okay. And so interrogatories are where you're responding to things that basically answers that the other side is asking?
Yes, ma'am.
And I've got your complaint for divorce. I'm just going to mark it for the record as Defendant's Exhibit 2. The first interrogatories that you answered, those were December 27th, 2021. Is that right?
They're about. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And in those, you were asked different things, but those are sworn. You actually swear to those. You verify them, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so that verification is where you're swearing under oath that everything in it is true?
Yes, ma'am.
And let's see, you were asked if you had any documents which relate to the purchase of gifts by you to any person other than the defendant with whom you have or had a romantic relationship from the date of your marriage, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you responded under oath that you didn't have any documents to that.
That's correct.
You again responded to an interrogatory. You updated those responses on May 30th, 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you actually sent those directly to opposing counsel in the divorce?
Yes, ma'am. I think so.
But in that one, you answered none again to that question, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So May 30th, 2023, you said that you didn't have any documents showing any purchase of anything with someone that you had a romantic relationship with.
I believe the interrogatory was gifts.
Okay.
Not anything, gifts.
And I have it if you want to take a look. I'm going to mark, okay, so just for the record, I've got your complaint for divorce marked as number 2. I've got the verification and the interrogatories from 2021. I'm going to mark those as 3. And then your May 30th, 2023, I'm going to mark as 4. Judge, may I approach the witness?
You may.
Thank you. That is what I marked as 4. This is what I marked as 3. Okay. Thank you, Judge. All right. If you would take a look at what I marked as 2, 3, and 4. Just see if you recognize those.
I do.
And that's your divorce complaint, and then your 2021 interrogatory and your 2023 interrogatory, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are they a fair and accurate representation of what is filed in that case?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd move to admit those into evidence.
And this is 2, 3, and 4?
It's 2, 3, and 4, yes.
All right, any objection from the state?
The divorce, it's on the disc.
There's no objection to 3 and 4, and subject to Ms. Merchant's representation that 2 is a filing of divorce. I just don't, the divorce complaint, I don't have that in front of me, but subject to that representation, no objection.
All right, and by show of hands, any objection from other defense counsel? Seeing none, defendants 2, 3, and 4. This should be Romans. Well, we'll just call them 2, 3, and 4 admitted without objection.
So that interrogatory that you filed in 2023, that's the one where you said no, that you didn't have any documents relating to the purchase of gifts, that you had a romantic relationship with someone, right?
Which interrogatory are we talking
Number
about?
4, 2023.
Which number in the interrogatory?
Number 4.
So, which number interrogatory are you referring to?
It's defendant's exhibit number 4.
I have defendant's exhibit 4 here.
Uh-huh.
Which number interrogatory are we referring to?
Oh, which number out of the questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Hold on. It is number 20, 24, 25, 26. All of them. It's supposed to be number.
Man, we'll be all day with this mess, man. I got stuff to do. We'll be all day with this mess, man. Boy, I done fell down a rabbit hole with this one. What y'all think, man? What y'all think? Y'all think I need to back away slow? Hey, tell me what y'all think, man. Hey, y'all think we need to go over, look at this some more? You know what? I'll probably have to come back and talk about this later. You know? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, she want to get into a lot of stuff that really doesn't have anything to do with the case. I get it. I get the being detailed part, but sometimes you can be too detailed and you can actually give your opponent stuff you don't want him to have. And I think that's what's happening with this man. Uh, I don't know if I want to keep going through. I don't know if I want to keep looking at this, especially. I'm not making no money off of this, man. I'm not, you know, I'm not making no money off this, and I got other stuff to do, man. I got to go eat some some, what is that, bang bang chicken? Pause. Because I know some of y'all perverts, man, oh, he said bang bang chicken. I got to go eat some, midday brunch, if that's what y'all want to call it. But, like, waiting on her to get to the point, you know, knowing that there's going to be a cross-examination of the witness, and, there may be another cross-examination of the witness, that this stuff goes like this. It can go like this all day. And like I said, I'm not getting paid to do this, so I don't know. I think I need to back up out of there. Mike Reed says, all we found out this brother was laying the pipe. Brother laid more pipe than a company pumping tar sand crew. Yeah, hey, that's what it is. We just learned that this guy is a player and he nigga splains. He's a man. He's a nigga splainer and stuff. He does what players does, and nobody's surprised of it, really. I mean, it is what it is. You know, and an issue. Hey, what went on between him and his wife? That's between them two, as far as I'm concerned. Him, his wife, and Fanny. The problem is that I'm concerned about the part that deals with their relationship having an effect on the Trump trial. I want to see how it plays out. You know, say autocorrect messing with your text. Yeah, man, it does me like that all the time, man. You know, right when I be like, yeah, I'm gonna really tell this person something. Autocorrect and have me typing out stuff that look real goofy. I get it, bro. I get it. Yeah, man. So yeah, I think we're gonna have to kind of stray away from that. You know what? Let's look at some other news because that stuff will be that Fannie Willis hearing will can last all day. Let's see what we got. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what we got. We talked about Nature Boy yesterday, man. Yeah, we talked about Nature Boy, man. That dude, he's a wild boy. You know, he's a wild boy. They got a Hunter Biden hearing going on. I don't think I want to jump in any more of those hearings. I think I'll just deal with the with the post commentary for these hearings because if you sit there and, and try to deal with them as they're happening, that's a lot of sitting there then trying to jump in and fair use it that you know I'm not making any money. I don't want to do all of that. Oh man, let's see what else is happening on the news. I guess Umar Johnson sat down with Nick Cannon. They had they had the conference of baby daddies. You know, the 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 Johnny Appleseed conference to talk about how we's building the black nation and black queens forever. But Nick, I don't think Nick cares. But you know, I don't want to really delve into whatever nonsense Umar is talking. You know, so let me look at this report. Let's look at this clip from Fox Business Channel. Let me pull that up. We had to back out. We had to back out of the other commentary. Let me close that, man. It was there. It was doing way too much. You know. Let's try a different approach. We'll go back to Thomas Bradley, and we'll see what commentary Fox has on that situation. Let me pull that up. We got to warm Bessie up. Oh, oh my God, this dog is getting on my nerves.
Tell lies about your friends.
Have I told lies about friends? I could have. I don't know.
Do you tell lies about your friends about a case of national importance?
Objection as to. All right, overruled. I could have. I don't know.
What do you make of that, Lee?
I could have. I don't know.
He didn't recall a lot.
He didn't recall a lot. I mean, there were some things. I'm sorry. that you should recall if you knew about them. Like, you could say, I have no idea, but to say I do not recall things like sexual activity in an office, for example, it seems a little bit far-fetched. I think there's a reason why people don't trust what's happening against when you think about all the Trump cases, and this is one of many of the reasons.
If he admits that he knew that they were a couple before the Trump investigation started, then that suggests that Fani Willis and Nathan Wade lied under oath. Isn't that right?
Yes.
I mean, isn't that where we're going?
Oh, yeah.
That pretty much has already been demonstrated, and he definitely did not help the defense. Oh, he definitely didn't help. He definitely didn't help Nathan Wade or Fani Willis. Let's continue. Fair use.
Yes.
Interestingly enough, yesterday, if you follow and I watched a great deal of this, and I was talking about yesterday. If you follow it, there's no longer this discussion of is there prejudicial value here, was there gain or anything about the hiring. It's now become about did they lie. And I think that's become the dominant theme yesterday, because you're trying to set the precedent. Because if Fani Willis lied or Nathan Wade lied, then not only are they coming off the case, they're going to probably get disbarred, because that's lying to the court. And this is not what they expected. So this is going to be an interesting time. And him sitting there yesterday, it was painful to watch when he would sit there and get a simple yes/no question, and he would just sort of stare.
Well, he's afraid. He doesn't want to commit perjury.
Well, he knows he's perjured himself already. And by the way, whenever
did Fani Willis and Nathan Wade perjure themselves?
It would appear, yes, that they have. And you, Doug, being the lawyer, right? You know, when anybody says, "I don't recall." That's a tactic.
It's something to look at. Sometimes people really don't recall, and you want to make sure that
you just don't want to prove that you knew when you say you didn't know.
All right, let's take a break.
Oh, I'm still, I'm, I'm still running my mouth. Man, oh my God, like I was saying something, man. You know, I hit the wrong mic, man. So can y'all hear me now? Can y'all hear me now? Okay. So I don't want that. I don't want an echo. So what about now? Do I have an echo? All right. Yeah, I got a lot going on in this OBS, man. You know, sometimes I get confused with if I hit the right switch. Shout out to Deacon Dave and Mike Reed for trying to keep this ship afloat. But they're not going to. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Ain't nobody losing no legal licenses. That's not going to happen. Just because they lied on the stand. Attorneys lie on the stand constantly. That's all they do. They lie on the stand every time they open their mouths. They lie on the stand. They don't lose legal licenses for that. They're not gonna lose their legal licenses for busting each other down. It happens all the time. That's what you know. Uh, I've seen attorneys get caught with cocaine in their pocket. Yeah, I've seen them get caught with that white horse in their pockets and in courthouses, no less, and not lose their licenses. So that that was said out of sensationalism. That's said for the audience and not for a legitimate legal opinion. That's yeah. And this is the problem with the CNNs, the CNBCs, the Foxes and stuff. Basically, the mainstream media sources is that they're playing to the emotions of the fan to get people riled up because that's how they attract and keep um, fans, and that's how they're able to then sell advertising, different things like that. It's a whole goofy science, but it's like taking a story and basically bloviating, or it's like exaggerating. Um, like say for instance, you hurt your hand, and it says, "Oh man, I hurt my hand." It's oh, I hurt my hand. It's about to fall off because it got cut and I'm bleeding to death. That's all that is. That's it's sensationalism. It's exaggerating, and I think that's what the guy was doing here. So that's it's not as big as that guy made it. Let's look at some other news, man. Let's look at some other news. Yeah, but Thomas Bradley, he knows he perjured himself. Let's let's see what else. I want to kind of get um, shorter clips because I want to cover more stuff. Macy's announces closures of 150 stores in major restructuring effort. Let's take a look at this story. You all know what Macy's is, right? So it's a store that, sells a lot of high-end uh, fashion, stuff like that. Um, clothing brands and, perfumes. That's what I know it for. Anytime I want to get some, you know, fancy designer perfume for my wife or cologne for myself, because I like to smell good. Believe it or not, I like to smell good. I smoke cigars, so I have to have some smell good so to kind of counterbalance that. you know. So I go to Macy's. As far as I'm not a I'm not a fashion nova fashionista type guy by any means, but I do like to smell good when I do dress up, and I'm not opposed to going to Macy's. You know, so all right, let's see if we can get this story going. Macy's announces closure of 150 stores, a major restructuring effort.
Macy's, the legendary department store chain, plans to close 150 more stores over the next 3 years. The company says it's part of a strategy to upgrade its remaining 350 locations. Jolene Kent has more of the announcement. Jolene Kent, good morning. What's going on?
Good morning, Nate. Macy's near you could soon be closing or changing its look entirely. In shutting down 150 stores, Macy's will now focus.
Okay, when they say restructuring, see, this is what I don't like about, this is what I call misuse of words. When they say restructuring, I'm thinking of the corporate management structure, different things like that. I think a more appropriate word would have been remodeling, because yeah, I don't think restructuring because when they use that term restructuring, they're referring to management stuff like that. You know, they're not referring to remodeling the stores. Let's continue. Fair use, fair use.
On the remaining 350 stores and luxury brands that are performing better. The new CEO, Tony Spring, says Macy's will open smaller versions of these stores over the next several years, focused on what they call the experience, customer service, relevant products, and they want to deliver better value than they have been. The stores that are set to close account for 25% of Macy's physical footprint across the country, but less than 10% of its total sales. The company Tuesday reported losses in its fourth quarter earnings, a rough holiday season, and also you'll remember back in January it also announced it would cut about 2,400 of its employees and close 5 stores. So it's unclear which locations will close in this latest major announcement. What we do know is in San Francisco.
Hey, I know which locations are going to close. I probably got that echo going and stuff too. I know which echo. I know which stores are gonna close. It's gonna be all the ones in the major sanctuary cities. It's gonna be all the ones in the BLM cities. Watch, they're gonna close all them stores in those areas are getting closed. I guarantee. Let's continue.
Francisco. The mayor said Macy's is looking to sell its iconic property in Union Square, Nate.
Jolene, does Macy's think this move is good for its long-term health, or could this be the beginning of the end?
Yeah, that is a great question for both customers and Wall Street. They want to avoid the fate of Sears and JCPenney. So what they're doing is they say they're going to pivot to smaller suburban strip mall type stores. They really need to revive their sales in order to survive this. But, Macy's is known for its real estate, not necessarily its customer service or its products lately. There's so much competition online right now. And you'll see at a lot of those bigger Macy's stores, it's not just a department store, but it's also a fulfillment center. So lots of challenges ahead for Macy's, certainly a ton of competition, and we'll see some big changes in their real estate portfolio, Nate.
Okay, I gotta ask a question. How much of that, the reasoning in that story do you all think was cap? They want to go back to smaller storefronts, like in strip malls. Come on, man. No, no. That sounds like some BS, man. That sounds like a smoke screen. And all that was all that was for was to try to explain away them taking stores out of areas that are prone to high crime. That's all that is. And instead of them just being honest and saying, hey, listen, we've had stores in certain areas that have been broken into a lot. We've had a lot of losses when it comes to our inventory and stuff, and we don't want to be there. They say this nonsense, man. So yeah, I'm not buying it. These people think we're stupid. Just tell the truth. And I think that's the problem with a lot of just socially, people don't want to tell the truth. Everybody wants to be told the truth, until it's something that they don't like, you know. Hey, the truth is a funny thing, it's like, people want to be able to say, "Ah, you know what, I'm about to, you know what, on the one hand, people want to be the truth teller, but not really. They don't want to hurt feelings and stuff, and people don't want their feelings hurt and stuff. The problem is you can't escape whatever the truth is. Sometimes you have to be brought to the truth from an outside source, and the truth is that you know these big corporations, they've had a lot of stuff stolen from them, man, and they don't want to be in certain places no more. I get it. I understand. Um, it is what it is. In this day and age, man, you got to look at what's going to benefit your bottom line. So, yeah, man. Let's look for some more news, see what we can talk about. Um, we talked about we've talked a little bit about Trump. We've talked about Fonnie Willis and Nathan Wade. We talked about Thomas Bradley. Um, we 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 talked about Macy's. What else did we talk about? Did we talk about some other stuff? But yeah, I'm gonna have to jump off for now. Um, Depending on how my time goes, I may come back. Y'all know how that is, though. If I do, you guys will see an alert for another live stream and stuff. Before I go, you all have any questions you all would like me to answer? I can yap about for a few minutes. I'll do that for you. Um, you guys want me to do some yapping? I'll do some yapping. Do some babble for you. you know, just give y'all some of this Royce babble. Well, anyway, you know, if you all don't have any questions, any thing you all want me to talk about, I'm going to shut this down here. I appreciate everybody being here. Deacon Dave, Mike Reed, No News. If Extended Clips, if you here listening in the clouds, I appreciate you, bro. And everybody else that came through to watch the live streams. Everybody on YouTube, everybody on Facebook, everybody on Rumble, everybody on on Twitter or X. I'm not calling it X. I'm calling it Twitter. I don't, that X stuff, man. But anyway, I appreciate everybody coming through. Um, Look out for the next live stream, and pretty soon, like I said, we're gonna start doing some panels, and rock out in that manner. That all being said, I'm Royce J. This channel is the Royce J channel, Royce Babble series. I appreciate you guys. Do me a favor, like, share, and subscribe. Tell your friends. Hit the like button or hit the dislike button. You know, hey, if you don't like it, hey, it is what it is. But I'm gonna get on out of here. You guys be safe, and I'll see you on the next broadcast. Later.